one of those interesting things, and those of us who have children would be able to test, and having watched our children play video games, and even like my child can sit and play a video game, and then 30 minutes has passed, and they feel like 2 minutes. That old theory of relativity, old governs. But the idea behind it is the child is sitting there, they're so engaged, and that's that keyword, engaged. So this is about engaging them. So you could make the lesson 5 hours long if you needed to, because their brains are tapping into a different way of approaching learning. Now, when I remember going through my educational training, and them talking about, making sure that you keep the lessons that you're going to be running in short bursts, so that you're keeping that engagement factor all the time. But the reality is, with gamification, and we see this in video games, is the fact that it's about triggering those endorphins, getting people so they're constantly being engaged. Now, at the same time, you don't want to overexcite them, because they'll stop remembering what they're actually learning. But this is about, like, particularly when we talk about the gamification that we did for Sandhurst, it was about how do you get them kind of engaging in a way that they're making those decisions. They want to make the next decision. Actually, when you give them, for instance, a timed, so some of the elements we had as timed decisions that individuals had to make. Well, that's now putting a pressure on the individual, gets the endorphins running, they're having to make a decision, they make a decision, is it the right decision? And then you have reward. So that's the thing, it's balancing that, and that kind of plays into your whole keeping that engagement.
There was a great line when we were testing it on that kind of side. They were going, I had to sit and listen to what was going on, and I had to take part in the story. I just wanted to click through. And then straight after it, he went, I'm glad I didn't, because I was able then to actually understand why it was relevant as I was coming through from the rest of it. But their instinct right off from the bat was that scroll, that click, that press, too long, didn't read. But it wasn't. They were just got the habit, because as soon as they realised that they weren't able to actually click through, and they took on what was going on, they realised how relevant it was. And then it was about getting that pacing that could actually come through, where we were aware culturally and generationally, and this is what I'm going to say, this isn't just young people. How many times would you put your hand up yourself if you just go, I've just skipped past something because it was too long, or it's too slow, or I wanted to watch something and a website didn't load or something, and you just go straight to another one. We've been conditioned this way, the way that everything is in that kind of structure. So we think that young people are going to actually do it. We're doing it ourselves. So we can't just look at it in the sense of one size fits all. We're trying to think of it as, okay, from young people, they may have this as their kind of focus of skills that they've brought into it, and they've got a level of expectation. At the same time, you don't want to alienate the person who's 30, 40 years in that still needs to learn the same content. How do you balance and blend that content to make it so that they can do it around their jobs and also have that same level of interactivity?